Well, guys, it's almost here. Election Day, November the 5th, the day we've all been waiting on. The day that the country has based their future on, their hopes on, their dreams on, their very existence on. And if you talk to the left or if you talk to the right, both sides will tell you that, both political sides will tell you that the country hinges on this next election. The left will tell you that if Donald Trump goes into power, that the country is over. He is a Nazi. He is a fascist. They're going to all be put on boxcars, train cars, and took to the concentration camp and done away with. And if you talk to people on the right, they pretty much say the same thing about Kamala Harris. So we have both sides that are extremely polarized, and both sides deeply believe that the fate of the country hinges on this election. So either way that it goes, you're going to have one left or the right feeling that the country's over, that hope is completely gone. No hope, no future. The country is gone. Both sides feel that the right thinks that Harris is a fascist Nazi communist, and the left thinks that Donald Trump is a fascist Nazi communist. And both sides feel like they're fighting for their very existence. And that is a recipe for a lot of civil unrest, because you have people who think that their future is completely gone, and it seems that could be the case depending on who gets elected, or maybe it doesn't matter who gets elected, maybe the future is gone either way. But both people, both sides, both groups of people feel deeply that if the other side, if Trump gets elected or if Harris gets elected, that the country is over. Their very lives are over. Their future is over. The future of their children is over. The future of the country is over. They feel that they are facing actual execution, extermination. It is something I've never saw before in a presidential election. Both sides are so polarized, and both sides feel like they're fighting for their very survival. And when you have that survival mentality, that I have to defeat this side, I have to keep this person out, depending on which side you're on, or my life is over, my family is over, everything is over, the country is over, and both sides feel this way. And that is a recipe for extreme violence, because it doesn't matter which one wins or gets appointed. The other side's going to feel like everything is lost, everything is in jeopardy. So they have to do whatever they have to do to defeat the other side, regardless of the election results. But with that said, I think that Donald Trump will be elected, and I actually think that it's all part of the plan, because they know that if Donald Trump is elected, that it will cause more instant violence from the left, because they're already planning for this. And they have a plan still yet to try to keep Trump out. And that's going to infuriate the right. Also, I talked about this in my video a couple of days ago. Trump wins by 10, 15, 20%. The left go ballistic, because they feel their very existence, the country, everything is at stake. And they have to stop this election. They have to stop Donald Trump going into office at all cost. So that's going to be that. So we're going to have violence right off the bat on that side. Then they're going to block Donald Trump from going into office, or at least they're going to try to. And that's going to infuriate the right. So both sides are going to be triggered. So I see, hopefully I'm totally wrong, hopefully we don't see all this violence, all this rioting and looting and burning that could completely destroy the country, in my opinion. Hopefully it doesn't happen, but it definitely looks that way, because like I said, we have two polar opposite sides of the political spectrum, and both sides feel that the country hinges on this election. Their very life, existence hinges on this election. So we're going to see, in my opinion, extreme violence, and I think that it is all planned. Trump will win the vote, the left's going to go ballistic. Then the left is going to use the legal system, going to use everything they can to keep Donald Trump from being sworn in. And that's going to trigger the right. So we're going to have both sides triggered. And the news media, the politicians, are going to be working the system and broadcasting information and news to further infuriate their political base to cause more violence. So either way it goes, guys, it's not going to be good in my opinion, but I think Trump's going to win. I think it's all predetermined, and it's all to bring in this civil war system this civil war revolution that we've been hearing about for years now. That's what all this has been about, all this talking the media, the politicians, everything they've been saying, the movies. If you watch the movie Civil War, it shows pretty much Donald Trump going into office, and the resistance goes in and eventually takes him out while he's in office. And that is predictive programming, pre-programming of the people's brains to think this is what's going to happen, because I think that it actually is. Hopefully I'm wrong, but it's not going to happen on November the 5th. It may take, a couple of months for this all to play out. But the country, especially in those urban areas, in D.C., especially in the blue state urban areas, it's going to burn. It's going to be something. Washington, D.C., urban areas, especially in the blue cities, are going to be unlivable. And that could definitely affect our supply chain here out in these rural areas. I don't see any rioting and looting and burning here where I am, because everyone's pretty much aligned politically. There's a few that might be left lunatics who don't believe in the Constitution and freedom and firearms and all that. There's a few everywhere. But overall, most people are pretty much aligned politically here where I am. There's been some outsiders that came in. Don't know how all those people feel about politics, but their numbers are still yet small compared to the rest of us. And I don't see people going out and burning and rioting and looting here where I am. Like I said, that's going to be mainly centered in the urban areas in D.C. and especially in the blue states. But I think that will eventually spread out, because these people organized, especially on the left. They're organized. They've been planning this for a long time. And like I said, I think that it's all planned, pre-planned, because they want to bring this country into a civil war, and they want to destroy this country. And I'm not talking about the politicians. I'm talking about the deep state, the people who actually run this country, these people who don't believe in borders, these people who want to bring the United States down to put in their Great Reset, New World Order agenda. China will be at the top. The United States will be like Venezuela before this is over with, or worse. That's the plan, in my opinion. But even out here in the rural areas, what happens in other locations can affect us here. Like, supply chain. It's easy for someone to take out, say, a bridge, railroad tracks, to attack infrastructure like food processing plants and things like that, places like that, to definitely harm us out here in these rural locations, because we get a lot of stuff shipped in. And most people, unfortunately, even here where I am, aren't self-reliant, aren't self-sufficient. They go to Walmart to get their food. They don't grow it in the garden. They don't hunt like they used to. They go to Walmart. And if that supply chain is shut down, it easily could be because it comes from somewhere else. That could definitely affect us here. And someone could, attack very easily the water treatment facilities, causing problems there with clean drinking water, sanitation. They could do many things to cause problems here, including attacking the power grid. Someone with a high-powered rifle, 30-06, 308, and 338 Winchester Magnum, can, with well-placed shots, take down the power grid. It can be done somewhere on computer viruses, and who knows what they have planned to do to cause the most havoc. And what they want to do is cause the most havoc, because they have to stop Donald Trump from going into office. That's the plan. And not only, these liberal left lunatics, we also have other countries right now. We're in war with Russia. We're supporting Israel in a war against all their neighbors. So they could have sleeper cells here in the United States. Iran, Russia, North Korea. I mean, who knows? Who knows? No one actually does, because they came through the border so quickly and being unvetted and took all over the country. Who knows how many sleeper cells there are here in the United States? And it would be a perfect opportunity for these sleeper cells to attack. And they could attack, and it would actually be blamed on the political party that has been rioting and looting and burning and pillaging this whole time. So if you could say you had Iranian sleeper cells here in the United States. The left goes ballistic and is burning and rioting and looting. Iran could do cyber attacks on the critical infrastructure in the United States. They could activate the sleeper cells. And we would think that that was these people over here that were doing this. And that would further infuriate the people on the right, because these people here have attacked our power grid, they've attacked our food supply. More polarization, more anger, more violence. So that's definitely an issue. And not only that, we also have tens of millions of illegals here in the United States. Many has passed through and came into the country, passed through the border and came into the country in the last 4 years. Tens of millions. And we've had gangs came through. We've had just criminals come through. Everything has been invited in. Like I talked about a minute ago, the sleeper cells could have just came right through and across the border and could be activated. But like I said, we also have just millions upon millions and tens of millions of illegals here. People who have no allegiance to the United States at all, who weren't raised here, who couldn't care less about this country. We have gang members here, Trendy Lagra taking over locations, and chaos will increase their membership. It's a perfect setup for extreme civil unrest, civil war, and a collapse of the country. And these illegals, they're a wild card. Who knows what they're going to do? Who knows how they're going to react to all this? When they see the cities burning, what are they going to do? How are they going to react? Are they going to join up together and tribe up? Most likely. That's what people do. They tribe up with people from their own countries. They tribe up with people with their own skin color, their own religions. People are tribal and they want to tribe up. So we could have all kinds of different factions in the country who have tribed up together and all warring and fighting against each other. It's a perfect setup, guys. It really is. It is about too perfect of a setup to have been just random, to have been something just happened. It's too perfect. It had to be pre-planned to cause the most extreme violence and civil war and revolution imaginable. It had to be set up because it's just too perfect. Too many things fall into place. If you look back at what the media has been saying, what the politicians have been saying over the last few years, the border wide open, the polarization, both sides think that if the other political party's leader gets elected, that they're going to be destroyed, end of the country, their life is completely over, they're fighting for their very existence. It's a perfect setup, it really is. And there's no way, in my opinion, that this hasn't been all pre-planned. And I think, like I said, it's pre-planned. It may not seem like it, but it's all about the polarization, and it's all about getting the result that they want. Donald Trump will be elected. He's going to win by 10, 15% of the vote, maybe even 20% of the vote. The left's going to go crazy. Then they're going to work the political system, do what they can, and try to block Donald Trump from going into office. They might, and they might not. I don't know what's going to happen there, but they're going to try, and that's going to infuriate the right. So both sides are going to be infuriated. They're going to resort to violence. The left definitely will resort to violence. But they've been trying to stir up the right for years to get them to do something. And a lot of people say that they won't. But this time I don't know, because both sides think that the existence of their country and their lives, their very existence of their family, everything hinges on this election, who gets put in office. So it's a perfect setup for civil unrest, civil war, and complete destruction in this country. And like I said, if you have the scenario I talked about, and we have sleeper cells, we have operatives inside the United States that could be working for the United States government that is trying to increase the violence. They could take down the power grid, take down the food supply, take down the ability to ship things out into the country, into the rural locations. And when that happens, the people on the right is going to blame the people on the left because they have no power now. These people on the left attacked our water treatment facilities. We have no clean drinking water. We have no power. These people over here have done this. A perfect setup. Too perfect to be just coincidental. It has to be pre-planned. Pre-planned to cause destruction, civil war in the United States. to bring this country down. Know what you think in the comments below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What do you think? Did you like the video? If you did, give it a big thumbs up. Pray for the best, but prepare for the worst. I'll see you all in the next video, hopefully.